This is Matthew Spencer, Value Line's editorial director. I'm just going to share my screen real quick. Thank you so much for joining us today. Today I'm going to be providing an in-depth overview of the Value Line Investment Analyzer, our most robust screening tool. I'll also answer some questions related to the analyzer. Before I begin, for those joining us for the first time, I want to provide a brief overview of who we are at Value Line. We are a New York headquartered corporation that has been providing investment research for more than 85 years. Our research, which is created in-house by our staff of analysts, economists, data experts, and quantitative specialists, is completely unbiased and independent. Unlike many Wall Street brokerage firms, Value Line has no investment banking business with any company. Value Line does not execute trades for its subscribers and, therefore, has no vested interest in whether our subscribers buy, sell, or hold a specific security. I also like to share our latest economic commentary with you before we dive into the investment analyzer. The following is prepared by one of our senior analysts, Bill Ferguson. First quarter earnings season did not get off to a rousing start. In fact, the major U.S. banks, including JP Chase and Goldman Sachs, reported sharp year-over-year declines in earnings. The primary culprits behind the setbacks were higher operating expenses and generally weaker asset management and investment banking activities. The banking results may be a harbinger of things to come for the U.S. economy. The aforementioned weakening banking activities relate directly to the health of the economy. The declines may suggest that corporate America is feeling hesitant about the future. Stubbornly high inflation is weighing on the U.S. consumer. Retail sales figures for March showed elevated prices for food and energy commodities, which significantly increases the monthly necessities bills for U.S. households. This may force consumers to defer purchases of discretionary items, a trend that may well reduce GDP growth during the spring and summer months. All signs suggest that the Federal Reserve is behind the curve in its attempt to combat inflation, so likely result in more restrictive monetary policies over the balance of 2022 and next year, including a few half percentage point hikes to the benchmark federal funds rate to try to rein in surging prices at both the producer and consumer levels. The next 12 to 18 months may prove to be a slippery slope for the Federal Reserve to navigate. With signs suggesting that economic growth is already moderating, the central bank must avoid pumping the monetary brakes too hard, which would risk exacerbating the slowdown and could even result in stagflation. That is a period of high inflation and slowing economic growth, accompanied by rising unemployment. That said, the U.S. labor market has proven resilient thus far in 2022, with an estimated 1.685 million jobs created during the first calendar quarter. In conclusion, it remains a challenging investment environment right now, given the more restrictive central bank and rising fixed income yields. Still, with the Fed looking to aggressively hike interest rates and sell a portion of its asset holdings, both of which are likely to put added downward pressure on bonds, we believe a well-rounded portfolio of high-quality equities remains the best near-term investment option. So, with that in mind, let's take a look at the analyzer. So my screen is what you will see when you first open up the Value Line Investment Analyzer. And the first thing you want to do is make sure that your analyzer is all up to date. So if you look on this left-hand navigation, this is the button to update. So we'll click this and we'll say run update now. This takes a minute. And my screen might go blank here for a couple seconds, but don't worry about it, because we have to restart the program after it's run its update. So we say OK to restart, coming back online, logging in. So here we are, we have our weekly data as of 4/2022. The analyzer updates once a week. It's every Monday morning at 8 a.m. And then we also have we'll have our daily, it also updates stock prices daily. So one of the things on the left here that you can do is you can get everything from the Value Line Investment Survey. You can get it directly from the analyzer, all the PDFs. So for instance, if you wanted to see a full page report on a company, you could go over to here to Ratings and Reports. Say you wanted to see the latest report on Disney. There's type in Disney, there it is, display. And here's the latest full-page report on Disney. You have the array with our estimates and historicals. There's the commentary, our earnings and revenue projections, everything's there. The same is true for the selection and opinion. Here's the current week, display. We'll go to the current issue. Again, here's the economic piece that I just shared with everyone. We have our model portfolios down here, updates on those. And the same thing is with the summary index. This issue, standard print version, display. We'll look at the current one. So here's the index. There's also a lot of preset screens. It tells us the weekly median for dividend yields, 3 to 5 year appreciation potential, and 18-month appreciation potential for the value line universe. And if we come down, we can see a couple of the screens. So one of them is timely stocks and timely industries. This tells us the timely stocks in the top 35 ranked industries. So something like this is great. Obviously, this is very static. So if someone wanted to see some additional data here or be able to manipulate it in a more dynamic environment, we could go to Summary Index, and we could look at value line screens. And here's timely stocks and timely industries. We hit display. So here we see the same 246 stocks that we saw before, but now we can make some changes and manipulate and try and work this down to a smaller universe. Excuse me. You can also see here that the default is a lot of data columns. The default is seeing all of the data, every column that we have. So to make it a little bit more manageable, you can go to View, Customize Column Settings. Over here on the left is everything that we could see, and over here on the right is everything that we do see, and right now those are the same. So the easiest thing to do when you're looking at this many columns is to just hide all and add what you want to see. General business has a lot of the things that most people will want to click on, things like company name, ticker, industry. Here are some of Value Line's proprietary ranks like timeless, technical, and safety. We have market cap in here, stock price, beta, dividend yield, all that type of thing. There's a lot more columns. There's income statement data. If you're looking for earnings, margins, that type of thing, you can see balance sheet items, current assets, intangibles, plant and equipment. There's a number of per share ratios, things like cash flow per share, earnings, sales, capital spending, etc. We have a number of industry-specific items, metrics for banks and thrifts, metrics for retailers, insurance companies, brokerages. We have total returns over a number of different time periods, 1 week, 4 week, 13, 26, year to date, 1 year, 3 year, 5 year total returns for a specific security. We also have annual returns going back to 2012. These are just to give you an overview of the type of things that you can screen for or look at or view here. Projections is popular. Projected 3 to 5 year percentage price change is our target price range. We have a number of other ratings, which is a lot of Value Line proprietary metrics, financial strength, price stability, earnings predictability, identification. This is things like domicile code, where the company is headquartered, what exchange it's listed on, etc. So we'll go back to the top and we will pull up everything that we had seen in the PDF version of this screen, but we'll add a couple more things. Company name, obviously good to have. Ticker, industry, we've been seeing timeliness rank, show, safety rank, technical rank was on there, beta was on there. And then if any of these we want to shift the columns around, we can move them up or down like that. We also had, I believe, dividend yields, market cap, I think we also had 3 to 5 year appreciation potential. Down here, projections, 3 to 5 year percentage price change, and show. So now we can see everything that we saw on the PDF, but what if we want to see a few more things? Maybe we want to see 18-month appreciation potential in addition to the 3 to 5 year. We come up here and find 18-month the midpoint and show that. Likewise, keeping with the theme that we talked about in the economic piece, focusing on quality equities in this current market environment, we might want to look at a company's financial strength rating. So we can add that one. Hit OK. So now we have 246 records, but maybe we want to cull that field a little bit to make it a little bit more manageable. Perhaps we want to exclude things that are below average for safety, so things that are ranked 4 or 5 for safety. By double-clicking up here, you can sort the whole list by in ascending or descending, by this metric, by safety. So we're going to come over here, and we're just going to highlight all the 4s and the 5s. And then if we right-click, we can remove these from the filter. So we'll get rid of those, anything that's below average for safety. Likewise, maybe we want to do the same thing with financial strength and eliminate anything that is ranked below B++ for financial strength. So again, we can take the B's, the B+s, and right-click. We can remove these from the filter. And we saw that 3 to 5 year appreciation potential, the median is 55%. So maybe we want to get rid of anything that is below 55. And we'll just right-click and remove these from the filter. And maybe we also want stocks that pay a dividend. So we can sort this, and maybe we'll get rid of everything that doesn't pay dividend. Right-click, remove from filter. So pretty quickly, we took our list of 246 down to just 19, which is a much more manageable group of stocks to look at and hone in on. Of course, we can also do things from scratch. If you go over here to Summary and Index, we can start with the full database. So this is Value Line's entire database. It's 5,671 stocks. It includes stocks that are in the Value Line Investment Survey. It includes stocks that are in the Small and Mid-Cap Edition. And it includes stocks that are just in our database and don't get a full-page report at all. So if we want to start with this huge universe and narrow it down, we can go to this filter icon and run a filter. One of the first things that people like to do is a lot of times they'll just be looking at stocks in the Value Line Investment Survey. And the easiest way to do that is actually by page number. So we'll go to if, choose a field, and we're going to go down to identification and IS, Investment Survey page number. So the way this works is that everything in the investment survey is below page 3000. Everything in the small and mid-cap survey is above page 3000. And anything that doesn't have a page number is just a stock that lives in the database. So if the investment survey page number is less than, we'll do a custom value of 3000. And if we run that filter, we will get the 1,589 stocks that are in the investment survey. If we change that logic to do greater than 3,000 and run the filter, we'll see the 1,678 that are in the small and mid-cap edition. Finally, if you just want stocks that are in the database, equals blank. There's our 2,300 stocks roughly that are just in the database. So let's go back and do page number is less than custom value 3,000. We'll start with the universe of the Value Line Investment Survey, these 1,589 stocks. Still, obviously, a pretty big number. And we're going to stick with the theme of quality equities. So maybe we want only stocks with a safety rank of 1 or 2, which is above average. So we say and general business safety rank is, again, this is the same thing. We need to use the greater than or less than. So we'll say safety rank is less than custom value. We'll do 3 and run the filter. So this will give us safety ranks of only 1s and 2s. We do a similar thing with timeliness. If we want to screen by timeliness rank, general business, timeliness rank. This time, let's keep it to things that are ranked 1, 2, or 3 for timeliness. So less than custom value 4. Run that filter. We're down to 244 records. So we're making some good headway. We saw that the median yield this week is 1.9%. Maybe we want stocks that pay a yield above that 1.9%. We can go to general business. Dividend yield is greater than custom value 1.9. Run the filter. We're down to 94 records. Here we want to look at value lines 18-month appreciation potential. That is currently, the median there is currently 23. So again, maybe you want to stay above that line. 18-month to midpoint is greater than custom value 23. We're down to 23 stocks. And maybe we also want to do 3 to 5 year appreciation potential. That's above the median also. 3 to 5 year percentage price change is greater than custom value, let's say 55, that's the current. Run the filter. So quickly we're able to take the universe of about 1600 and drop it down to 8. So this obviously gives you a lot more opportunity to hone in on a couple investment candidates rather than a sea of candidates. Another thing that's helpful if you want to do some sort of peer-to-peer analysis, you can look at an industry grouping. So we can go summary index, and screens, full database, display, and let's do another filter. We'll stick with the investment survey. So we'll go identification, investment survey page number is less than custom value 3,000. Run that filter. We get the 1589, and maybe we only want to look at a specific industry. General business, industry equals, let's say we wanted to look at banks. Run filter. So here are all 32 banks that are in the investment survey. And we can get some summary statistics by clicking on this. This takes a minute. It's quite a few columns that we have, so it's going to produce data for a lot of different metrics, which is why it takes a minute. So here we are. We have usually the high and the low, median average for everything. So this is really good if you're looking at something like valuation. You can see what's the current PE ratio. You can see what's the median for the industry and the average for the industry. You can look at how specific stocks compare to the rest of their peers. You can look at things, what's the median beta, a whole host of different metrics to do some sort of peer-to-peer analysis. What's the dividend, what's a good dividend yield for this particular industry? How does it look in terms of stock price appreciation potential? All that type of thing. So that is a great thing for if you're doing peer-to-peer analysis, especially within an industry. Another thing that's helpful is if you're just sort of curious about what's going on in the markets, you go to summary index, you scroll down to the investment survey display, and these prices here are updated throughout the day. It's a 20-minute delay, but you can see sort of the biggest gainers and losers on a specific day. Obviously, Teladoc Health getting hit pretty hard today. A rough earnings report and some downbeat guidance. On the other side of the coin, Meta Platforms was a bit better than expected. So this is a nice way to sort of see what's going on and see what the big movers are throughout the day. There's a lot of other preset screens in here, like we went through before. It's not just timely stocks and timely industries. You can select by industry, international stocks. You can look at foreign, domestic. A lot of these are the things that we saw in the index, but like we discussed, this is a much more dynamic environment with which, in much more dynamic environment to see them in rather than just the PDF report, and it helps you hone in a little bit more on what's there and kind of dive in on what would be a good potential investment candidate for you. So those are sort of the basics of the investment analyzer. It's a pretty powerful screening tool. There are obviously a lot of data fields here from which to choose. You have a lot of options for how you want to screen. Yeah, it's a very robust tool and an excellent way to find potential candidates. So that, we'll see if we have any questions. It's like, I have a couple here. Let's see, how do you calculate target price range? The target price range, the 3 to 5 year, is based on our earnings estimate 3 to 5 years out, and our estimated PE for over that range also. And then that range is sort of narrowed or widened depending on the safety rank of a stock. So a stock that's ranked 5 for safety is going to have a wider target price range than a stock that's ranked 1 for safety. Conversely, our 18-month range is totally done by our quant team. So that and the timeliness rank come from the quant department. How often is data refreshed? That is done on a weekly basis for most of the data. Monday mornings at 8 o'clock are when that is refreshed. But like I said, the pricing is done throughout the day. Where do you access the Value Line Investment Analyzer? This is an add-on to most subscriptions or an upgrade. You can call 1-800-VALUE line, and we have team members that are standing by to help you, and they can also tell you cost and help you get it added to your subscription or as a standalone. Let's see if we have anything else. It looks like that's it. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining us today. I appreciate your time, and have a nice day. Thank you very much.